Is it me? Because I got headphones and a Yeti mic, so and I'm the only one home, so that's the ghost around me.
No, it looks like it's coming from Billy.
Okay.
Oh, you're getting some feedback from me?
Yeah.
Okay. How about now?
Testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's faint, but not as bad as before. Well, now it's pretty bad.
Yeah, actually, have you got a speaker or something that you're using?
Alright, now? Better? Testing.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I don't really hear anything, no.
No, I guess I'll hear it a bit.
Okay, no, it's pretty bad. Yeah. Are you listening to the stream?
Okay, yeah. No, that was me. I just had to turn my speaker down a little bit.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Just getting ready to get started here. Just making sure sound levels are all good before we get started. As always, you guys know how all this works. You motherfuckers ready to save an
there's
old
my
banana.
problem. Hold on.
Oh,
there we go.
fuck, it's a sad moment at the start.
Yeah. Well, if I don't save Banana Man, sure.
Oh, Billy.
Okay, that's working just fine. And that's working just fine as well.
I had the audio on the stream on. That's why you were getting it.
Resident Evil 2. Probably gotta have some more permanent sound bites. I am also down for recommendations as well in the chat if you guys wanna think of anything. Alright, so let's get you guys can hear me just fine. You guys can hear String just fine. You guys can hear Billy just fine. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope you guys enjoy your new sub badges. Base level is the white coffee mugs with my insignia there. They look a lot better when they're scrunched down because I had to edit those blown up and it looked ugly as shit. But anybody with a gold level mug, those are 6 months and above. And there's only 2 sub badges for the moment. There's one for base and there's one for 6 months. I haven't designed ones for 3 months yet or a year. So in time I will. Well, I guess in time you guys will just find out what those are. Whoever breaks a year in subs first, I guess, as well, we'll find out what the design is. Cause I'm not gonna spoil it. It's probably gonna be a mug. Sergeant Pepper 714. Thank you for the subscription. Enjoy your coffee mug, dude. Enjoy the coffee. I can say that now because enjoy your coffee mug. Okay, looks like we're all ready to go here. So let's get the introductions out of the way. I gave all of the unedited archives to the guys, so once those are up and loaded, then I will get those. I'll get the entirety of World of Balance on YouTube, so that you guys can catch up in case you fall behind or anything like that, or you just need some background noise and whatever shit. However you decide to watch or listen to these live streams, I do appreciate it regardless. Either way. That said, hello everybody. Welcome to, I believe this is session 11 of my Final Fantasy VI Brave New World live stream playthrough. Linky could not join us tonight, but I still have String with me. Hello, String. How's it going?
I'm going well.
That's good to hear. Good morning, by the way. Is it morning time over there, or is it just about to be afternoon?
Morning, 9 a.m.
9 a.m. in Australia. All right, well, that's good. Welcome. I hope you guys had a hearty breakfast. And, of course, I got the creator of Brave New World with me. Joining us since last session, we got Billy. Hey, Billy, how's it going?
Going pretty well. Been working all day, time to relax.
All right. You said you got a beer in hand. What kind of beer do you drink?
Normally I drink Shiner Bock, but I have a can of Iron Maiden's beer.
Iron Maiden's beer. That sounds metal as shit.
It is the most metal of beers.
Ooh,
and
great.
hello to everyone that is saying hi to me.
Granted, the only beer that people think I drink is Foster's, and no one drinks Foster's here.
I was about to say, I've heard that Foster's is like widely maligned in Australia, and everyone there thinks it's crap.
It has the flag on it. That is it. No one drinks it here.
That's the only reason. Here you go, Banana Man. All right, so when we last left off, the world kind of died. So we are like a year later, and so far it looks like the only 2 survivors on the planet is Celeste, or Ophelia, and Banana Man, Grandpa Sid. And Sid, on the other hand, is on death's bed, sort of, literally. But we can save him if we feed him enough fish. But not just any fish. fast fish, because there are different fish you can find in the ocean here, and the quality of the fish is determined by the speed. If it's super fast, that's a good fish. That's what you want to feed Sid constantly. But sometimes RNG can just say, you know what, Sid's had it good for too long, and we're just going to spawn regular fish, which I don't think increase the value at all. And there's also really slow fish, which detracts from the value. If Sid has too many bad fish, or you just decide not to feed him at all, he will eventually die. And there is a difference between having him live and die, mostly cosmetic for the record, but if he lives, then it's all hunky-dory. He lives to, eat fish another day. We kind of leave him stranded on the island, though. We're kind of jerks like that. And everything's all said and done. However, if he dies, we get probably the most depressing moment in the entire game, where Celeste is so distraught that she attempts to commit suicide. She bungles it, by the way, because she's a super soldier. But she finds a bandana, a seagull with a bandana, and she gets the idea that maybe Locke is alive out there. Maybe all of her friends are alive out there. But still, I tend to try and save Sid so that we can, get a more uplifting, route, because I hate watching Celeste commit suicide.
I did rewrite.
I feel it's better though for character development, which is why I prefer.
True, but I
know it's sad. I prefer from the die, so for another character, but it makes more sense to me.
So you did a
I did
rewrite
go
here,
ahead and rewrite both of these scenes. Try and make them.
So this is different, because there's no music, there's no. What did you change for the good ending? You could say.
The only thing I changed for the good ending was the dialogue. So the rest of the way it plays out is the same as it was. We did also make saving him easier. The healthy fish restore a lot more of his health now.
Yeah, because it took only 3 or 4 to save him. Unlike the original, which was felt like 8, 8 or 10 fish.
Unless you just get some really shit RNG, a lot of players will save him after just a couple of fishing trips, and that's it.
Turtle Pepper, what were the eating noises? I don't know, but his belches probably sound like that. If he doesn't have any good chewing ability. Alright, so we saved Banana Man, which doesn't really mean anything. It just, we still kind of leave him stranded there. We will be visiting the island later, because there should be a Magicite washed ashore later down the road. Never an explanation of where that Magicite comes from. It's just
there is an NPC in Zen who now says something along the lines of, ever since the world ended, there's been a lot of stuff watching up on the beaches of the world. A lot of it's just junk, but sometimes you can find some really good stuff. So that's kind of my attempt to explain it.
Yeah, because otherwise it just sort of happens in the original game.
Fair warning, sell us alone on the world map. Save often. It's a little dangerous.
Will do! I had the idea of doing that anyway. Lucid Dragon does mean something. We get good guy points. Don't you love when Twitch Mobile doesn't allow you to subscribe with Twitch Prime? Oh, is that a thing? I didn't know that was a problem. Alright, anyway. We got a lot to think about. We got a lot to do here. You know what? I never really checked Atmo Weapon in this game. It's not very effective. Oh, really?
It kills you first shot, okay.
Yeah, it stabs you.
So the Atmo weapon does the same thing as it did before, with only 2 differences. 1, it uses stamina instead of vigor. And 2, we removed the part of the formula that assumed a baseline level of 64. So it's actually pretty strong, with the, downside of the fact that it gets weaker as your HP goes down.
Yeah, that was always the downside with that weapon. We'll give her the Mystery Veil, why not? And we'll give her the gold armor. Now, the matter of what kind of accessories do we give her?
Where was the Atmo weapon? Atmo weapon dropped it.
Yeah, Atmo weapon drops that weapon. It's not in the, you don't find it in the cave anymore.
Stands to reason.
Yeah. You know what? Why don't we give her sprint shoes so that we have an extra bit of speed there? Because we're going to be by ourselves for a little bit, at least until we get to the next town north where we're going to recruit Sabin. We do want to have speed to our advantage, but I also need to stock up on some items, and I do have some GP here, thankfully. Thankfully, money has not been considered worthless after the apocalypse.
Yeah, it looks like the Phoenix of Down farms are still going strong.
we'll be needing holy waters for later. Because I'm not sure how far we're going to get in tonight's session. The idea is to recruit Sabin, probably recruit Edgar, and then begin our quest to recruit Setzer. But I don't see us doing all 4 of those things today. Hey, Alex, thank you for the host. Much appreciated.
I guess it probably depends a little bit on whether or not you decide to take the side trip to Mobliz, but I can definitely see you getting at least a Daryl's Tomb tonight.
That's right, I can do Terra stuff. Well, the first part of Terra stuff, anyway. Today. I'm sad that Sad Dad... No, Sad Dad is not gone. Sad Dad is for life. I am the Pokemon Master. Are we getting the Yeti Dude Void game?
Yeah, we're a little further out, King.
Now, the funny thing is that recruiting Sabin is, in actuality, entirely optional. You do not need to do this, because you're expected to go left, west of the map and go recruit Edgar. The only 2 characters you ever need to recruit for World of Ruin is Edgar and Setzer. That is it. We're not going to do that, though, because that's dangerous.
the optionality of Sabin actually...
Fight the Warring Triad, one character each?
No, I'm fine.
Sorry.
The optionality of Sabin made recoding the Tentacles fight very, very interesting. I don't know how familiar you are with how it worked in vanilla, but a lot of people who know the game very well know that you can completely shut that fight down just by putting on some running shoes to get your character's perma-haste. And the reason for that is that the game devs needed a way to make sure that the tentacles didn't grab someone who was already being held, and the way they accomplished that was they had an attack that would set slow, and the tentacles would only grab someone who had the slow status, and the attack would lift the slow status. So that's how they accomplished that, and I thought that, okay, that's kind of dumb. So I went through and I made the tentacles, I scripted them to grab just specific characters, and that's that.
Yeah, it does make sense, because I do recall in the original game when a character had the slow status, when they attempted seize, it would just slap them, or just miss entirely. And I didn't know the reasoning for that.
So, now the problem with the way we coded that is that works just fine, but it assumes that Sabin exists in your team. And so what we ended up having to do was I had Sinkizi code it so that if Sabin never got recruited, it pulls up a completely separate formation. And I put in an exception in the code for if he's not there.
Oh, okay, I see.
So, alternatively, I could have just left it and you could get a really broken Tentacles fight if you don't have Sabin with you.
Yeah, I feel like I figured it out since then. So yeah.
Out of all the things that you've recoded for this mod specifically, what do you like? Can you name like 3 instances that you found were particularly tricky to work around or fix?
The things that I've done, I know most of the coding was done on Sinkizi's end, and I know probably the thing he had the most difficult time with was the sketch routine. It's all over the place. It bounces between all sorts of different parts of shared code. The only really coding I did was the enemy AI, which for the most part wasn't too tricky to work with. The fights that I ended up the happiest with were Ultros 2, the Stooges, and Guardian.
You just walked through me. Personal space, motherfucker.
Game theory, Celeste has been dead all along.
Yeah. Celeste is Ness from Earthbound.
Ultros 2 Electric Boogle. You know, I wanted to call the mod Final Fantasy VI 2 Electric Boogaloo at first. Sinkizi was my bad idea filter.
Okay. I'm going to assume the enemies still work off of the petrification sort of thing. No, you know what? Let's wing it. Why not?
No, I think having enemies down here that petrify your one character party was kind of a dick move, so I got rid of that.
Well, because they do encourage you to go to the relic store if you talk to everybody first off. They tell you,
yeah.
I hope you got relics that guard against stone. You know, that was sort of your only hint.
Yeah, and I do maintain that,
earthquake.
you know, statuses are kind of a thing, but I wait until you at least get a second character before I start throwing that crap at you.
What the fuck? Magnitude? Alright, looks like I'm gonna have to precast some float here when I get back into the menu here. Luckily I got the life ball. The combination of the Atma weapon means I'm always gonna be doing some pretty decent damage unless my accuracy is absolute shit.
How are you doing tonight, PK? Thank you again for that sub, by the way. I appreciate it. You are the one who gifted it to me. I'm not misremembering, right?
Yeah. Me with the guy that actually gifted is crying.
What, you didn't? Okay, fuck you then.
Countdown in a place that's counting
Okay.
down. Genius.
I have a bad memory. So.
Hey, Ninko Bro, thank you very much for tuning in. Much appreciated. This house has a really weird infestation. It's got ghosts, scorpions, and mud crabs.
Let's say I think this guy needs to.
Ghostbusters, exterminators.
Yeah. And I don't know what else
A
do you
fisherman.
use?
There we go.
And a fisherman, yeah. Preferably all guy that has all three occupations at once.
No, that's
Yeah, I did go through
his beauty
and
debt must be pretty up there.
this is one of the few points in the game where I actually have the encounter rate set to lower than normal because
You're by yourself.
Because you're by yourself, and when I was playing it and testing, I kept like barely making it through alive, and I finally said, screw it. You can always tell which parts that I played through in testing and got really frustrated, because they're the parts that they got way undertuned instead.
There was nothing in that chest. I feel chipped. Let's see if these guys, Junti Fox, where's Pedro? Pedro's probably dead, baby, I'm sorry. Replaced by his brother, Ordep. Hey, Mystery Man, do you see? Yeah, 3 minutes left. Have you seen how long it takes to run away from battles in this game?
Yeah, and honestly, that's unintended. How long it takes to run from battles is a side effect of the recoding we did of the ATB system. If you're familiar with the original, especially if you're familiar with speedrunning in the original, you know that you can go in the menu and you can kind of get a speed advantage over the enemy if you've got the ATB set to wait instead of active. And kind of on the same line as that, speed doesn't really do much beyond like 60 or so at soft caps, and the reason is that the ATB keeps filling up while attack animations are going off.
We're getting raided.
So we had to completely recode that so that speed...
Elliot and Sabrina.
Elliot, of course they would. Why would they say fuck cancel? Why? That's Elliot's last name. Well, no, maybe if they're... I want to have sex. I want to have sex, but I don't. I want to do it in a certain amount of time. So we're gonna do something called a fuck cancel here, where it cuts our fucking in half.
That sounds like a speedrun strat.
Yeah, we're gonna do something here called a fuck cancel.
It's like, she wants to have sex, but I gotta go fast, so...
I don't have all the time in the world, I'm sorry.
I think that is what they were doing in Cuphead.
God.
Cuphead got a lot more MA, when I remember.
So, yeah, you should be able to get out of here with at least a minute or two on the timer. I look over and I see there's only a minute left.
There's only a minute left, and I was on death's bed there for a second. I almost got banana sid.
I need to learn to quit saying shit like that.
Yeah, then the fucking magician from the floating continent comes back and it's like, are you gonna go to the dark side now? I was like, no, go away.
Yeah, that was funny. Actually, the probably one of the greatest moments I ever had on a stream is someone who is a member of my Discord had been streaming it, and this is his first time. He beat Atma his first try, doing great, gets all the way to the end, and he's got to wait for Shadow. And he just sets the controller down and he starts talking. And he forgets that you actually have to make an input, so he dies at the, selection of do you stay for Shadow or do you just jump?
You're indecisive and you die for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was 5-6 years ago, and we're still giving him shit about it.
I almost died, bitch.
We can repair this, right?
Yeah.
It's alright. I just mentioned that's alright. So, it's alright, Mr. Fowl. I was quick. No, you were checking your accessories when I was holding it up.
Adam Bomb 2002. Any more plans for more emotes, or we're sticking with the old reliable amiibo face? The amiibo face is what we're doing for now. I'm holding off until I apply for partner status. Because I've been working on some ideas, but I really want to get partners so that I can get, like, all of them at once. You guys can just fucking go to town.
Have you already applied, or?
Not yet. I was gonna apply probably at the beginning of next week.
Yeah, okay. You have the stats, right?
I think I looked at the achievement thing and it says I'd qualify, but whether or not I actually get is an entirely different thing.
I don't think he could do that, Lucid Gamer, because whenever he suplexes something, he just puts it right back where it started. He doesn't actually move them away.
Alright, let me see. We still got a select number of calls. 4 months already? God damn, here's to a full year. Hey, thank you, Trav. Much appreciated. By the way, if you ever do need a cameo for your video, just feel free to ask. I feel bad for giving you cancer. According to that zero image you posted on Twitter.
Were desperation attacks changed in Brave New World? I think the only thing I did was, the main thing is I changed them to use stamina instead of magic power, because like in vanilla you'd get like Cyan using a desperation attack and it would be weaker than his regular attack because his magic is so low. So I felt that was a more appropriate stat to key it off of. Other than that, they show up a lot more in Brave New World just because the conditions for them to happen exist a lot more in Brave New World than they did in the original game, so... People always ask, did you make them more likely? No.
Well, actually, hold on.
Indirectly.
Actually, I think I will buy a second Hellclaw.
Gold member, that depends on your definition of broken. Technically, evade was broken, it did literally nothing. But you can compare that to stamina, which did almost nothing, but by design. Stamina, vigor, and speed all pretty much did nothing to varying degrees in the original game, and all three of those were by intent. Not like broken like evade because it didn't do the thing it was supposed to do. I had mentioned last week I had written an article about modding, and I went ahead and I finally put out another one which is talking about game design in particular, specifically talking about problems with Final Fantasy VI, and I brought that up. So if anyone is curious, it's on the front page of my site, which is abusemynipples.biz.
We're gonna keep mentioning that.
And John, we just lost your partnership.
Yeah.
I am so sorry.
I fucking love that name. Okay.
But yeah, Final Fantasy VI had some issues. Abusemynipples.biz elements. Did you get that time?
Name was so nice, I said it twice.
I can hand you a business card if you want.
It's It's an SNES controller, but it's 2 nipples on the D-pad and on the face buttons.
Biz is spelt with a Z. B-I-Z.
Okay. Abuse my nipples. Best in slot.
Yeah.
That's B-I-S, not B-I-Z. For you were a raider, John. Jesus Christ.
So one thing that will kind of help, when you're walking, Johnny, if you stick to the wastelands, the kind of gray areas, the encounter rate is going to be slightly lower.
Okay, that's interesting to know. Although, no, I accidentally step into one tile of the desert and I get an encounter. And I fight kaiju.
The way it works is that whenever you get into an encounter, and when you go back to the world map, whatever tile you're standing on, that's going to be the encounter rate, wherever you move from that point forward. So, like, if you're in a forest tile, which has a heavy encounter rate, if you get into a battle there, then you're going to have that encounter rate no matter where you go until your next encounter happens, if that makes sense.
Oh, 1 second. Got a message from Kefka.
Stop. And this is how we discover bugs, because sometimes in the map editor I use, certain chunks of the map get set to no encounter, and if you get into a fight right there, when you go back to the world map, you can walk around forever, and you'll never get into a fight again.
Really?
Until you exit and re-enter the map. Actually, Fuzzy, I mean, it pretty much, from a coding standpoint, it makes perfect sense. It's not going to constantly reevaluate what your encounter rate is as you're walking along the map. It's just going to use whatever the encounter rate of the tile you entered the map on. So, and just for your knowledge, the Chocobo stables that were in the original game in the forests are still there.
Oh, thank God. I definitely want to fast track my way back to, what was the name of the town that we're heading to the top left? Forgot the name of it.
Pussy Beach. Where's this?
Wait, the name of the town
I feel
is
like
Pussy
I'm
Beach? The name of the town is Pussy Beach?
Someone was asking about changing graphical assets to the game. Are they compressed and tiled? Yes.
I've seen plenty of graphical mods on Final Fantasy VI throughout the years, but I still don't know anything about how it works.
Parts of them are, parts of them aren't. I mean, like the maps are compressed and tiled. Things like enemy sprites, for example, aren't. So I mean, it really depends on what you're talking about.
Oh, wait a minute. I just realized that I did not equip any espers.
I think it's some other language for big. I don't know.
Oh wait, Seraph couldn't give me that. Okay, never mind. You know what? I will. What do I want?
Did I change any of the music tracks? No.
No, you don't change perfection.
Yeah.
I would stop.
I won't say anything more than that.
Yeah.
But no.
Okay.
That's where the GBA remake went wrong.
Yeah. The GBA tried, but I know it just couldn't.
Yeah.
Just couldn't muster it. That's why I recommend the fixed sound version.
Prototype. That's just the way the game originally worked in vanilla. I didn't change that part of it.
But what about pork? I like pork. Perfection, but this isn't the sound.
What I say I worked the most on changing in Brave New World, what I spent the most time doing was overhauling enemy AI, and I pretty much ripped the entire enemy formation structure out and put it back in. And I did it mostly for Gao's benefit, for how enemies work on the build. Nothing in the game, none of the assets were in any kind of order. And it made everything hard to find.
Is this gal? No. Is this gal? No. Is this gal? No.
Kefka again.
Yeah. Pretty much. Runic does work with Atma weapon. Did I change Sabin? Sabin can suplex anything in Brave New World.
Yeah.
The flag that made individual enemies immune to suplex, we repurposed. We turned it into a boss immunity flag for fractional damage, like Demi. and vanilla used death immunity. So anything that was immune to instant death, like Doom, couldn't have Demi cast on it either. So Demi was a useless spell
So
because
bizarre.
Doom.
I'm curious as to what game was held with more paper clips and bubblegum, Final Fantasy 1 NES or Final Fantasy 6?
6
Oh, probably
by
one.
far.
You think 6
Not
by
even
far?
a contest.
Really? Okay, interesting.
Just because 6 had so much more going on.
Sure.
6 was very ambitious. It had a lot. But the thing about Squaresoft is they're great at coming up with ideas, but they drop the ball on follow-through. So if you just look through the code, it's just all of this excess code that's supporting half-finished ideas that never really got off the ground. So it's a great toolkit for modding, but as far as the game goes, it's a mess.
Hey, Rob, thank you for the bits. Much appreciated. I'm doing just fine. Thank you for asking.
I love to comment that they don't follow through. They still don't to this day.
Yeah, that's really the best way I can put it, is they love coming up with ideas, but they don't really go anywhere with them, and when they have bugs, they don't go back and fix them, they just add more.
If they're distracted by a bug, we give them 2 other bugs to be distracted by, so they don't focus on the other one anymore.
Microsoft has that problem too. It must have something to do with the name.
Hero Chaos Child was saying that comparing between the two, she thinks the winner is probably Pokemon Red and Blue. MBM, Mexican-based monkey, he's a pretty good pal. He can tell you, he can give you a fucking thesis on how Pokemon Red and Blue was coded.
Pokemon Red and Blue was like the very, very first project for Game Freak, so a lot of that was experimental.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give them a little bit more leeway on that. FF6 was more, the bugs were because it was too ambitious.
Final Fiesta 6. Purple!
Purple! Oh my god, purple!
Purple, why so blue? Just slaps.
You're right.
So how you been? Been good? Except the apocalypse, you know.
I had a bit of an existential crisis, and then I discovered love.
I can eat whenever you can eat.
What are you eating? We heard everything.
I was about to say sorry, I don't know if you could hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hanging out with this piece of shit.
Wait, that's what I get a lot.
No, she makes this amazing like tomato and zucchini with feta cheese thing with pasta that's like really damn good.
Sounds good. Hey, Extra Extract, thank you for tuning in. Have a great night yourself. Enjoy your dinner. It's heading this way. Protect the kids. Fucking how?
So this actually kind of reminds me of probably my favorite bug from development, and it's the one bug we could never recreate. We could never explain how it happened. I walked into Mobla's World of Balance, and the whole village was on fire. The place was just in flames. Like the lake at the back of the village was on fire. I had no idea why.
Maybe Kevin got Light of Judgment early.
In the next time Sinkizi made another update, it vanished, and I'm like, what was that problem? He's like, I don't know.
Okay, what did you do? The town's on fire. No, I didn't say put it out. I kind of like it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
a bit of personality.
Like the other favorite bug we had was one, we knew why it happened, we could recreate it. It was, you went to the auction house, this is before we axed it, and the auctioneer's like, okay, and the next item up for bids is, and it cuts to the world exploding.
That's one hell of a cliffhanger. I can't wait for next week's episode on Fox.
And it was, I mean... Ouch. it was hilarious, just because it was so unexpected. But at least then I could understand why it happened. I knew exactly what caused it. You know, I'd asked him to change something there, and it was just a mislabeled pointer. To this day, we have no idea why Mublins was on fire.
Or why the auction. Is that why the auction house is closed? I mean, it may end the world. I'm doing you guys a favor.
We reclaimed a metric fuckton of dialogue space and event space from that place. So we definitely needed to can it. And actually, in the next update, what we're going to do is we're going to turn the auction house into the advanced beginner school. And we're going to split it up. So you have the beginner school and the advanced beginners school. The Northern Lights.
Yeah.
At this time of day. At this time of year.
Like lies entirely within your Final Fantasy VI.
I thought he just did Bull 2 and I'm casting Phantom.
Yes.
What the fuck am I doing? Yeah. May I see?
Can I see it?
It's like, no, I dummied it out.
No.
You're a weird fellow. Billy.
You're a weird fellow, Billy. I must say, you steam a good
But I
suplex.
steam a good ham.
Sorry, I had to play the shit. What was his name again? Oh, Billy. Fuck. Sorry. I'm horrible with names.
She's called Philia because he named Locke Necro.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you're gonna have some
I don't know if the
interesting.
fact that makes sense makes it any better.
You're gonna have a few interesting locked chests, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned this on the last stream or not, but I filled up every bank I had to work with. And like in the dialogue bank, I used every space-saving technique I could muster, and one of them was it's easier to call Locke's name. It uses less space than writing the word locked.
From Bob, I have a weakness to fire. Looks like
When
we need
hackers and modders put very strange additions to a game, so that kind of goes against my modding philosophy. I think that when you try to take a game and make it into something that it's not, then that's not really what modding should be. To me, it's you see a game, you see the ideas it had, and you think they're good ideas, but you think they could have been implemented better. So you want to turn it into a better version of itself. If you try to take a game and turn it into something that it's not, I think you're doing it wrong.
Would you say someone argue that that's pretty much what you did, though, for Brave New World?
Yeah, I mean, it's subjective, definitely.
Yeah.
But in my case, I tried... compare Brave New World to, like, Return of the Dark Sorcerer, which, you know, is just, like, name that tune in the game, and just an amalgam of different characters from various games. All in all, I took what... Brave New World is, at its core, what I think Final Fantasy VI could have been if the team had more resources at their disposal, had more time, and really kind of fleshed out their ideas more.
Yeah, run, bitch.
But, like, when I say turning a game into something that it's not, is like adding elements that clearly don't feel like they fit. You know, I mean... At the very beginning, we tried to avoid Brave New World having that obvious fan translation feel. Obviously, there are some, you know, snarky translations that remind you that you're playing a mod and not the actual game. But as far as
I feel like every developer or modder will like to leave their handprint on it to let them know that it's theirs.
Yeah,
you know,
but I like to
besides the
believe,
code changes.
In the end, though, that we stayed true to the spirit of the original game.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you know, the new mechanics or not, it's still, for the most part, Final Fantasy VI. Like the way I see it, you know, there's only a handful of things that are different, but that's about it. I still recognize the game as the game I played the hell out of as a kid.
Yeah. As opposed to, again, like Return of the Dark Sorcerer is pretty much its own game, using Final Fantasy VI as engine as a base.
Mama Luigi fan translation, where every 2 words is fuck. You know, we're not playing Earthbound Halloween.
Do you like movies about gladiators, Johnny?
I haven't watched that movie in a long time. Secret entrance is not loaded yet. I'm leaving. Gonna go ride a giant cuck.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, Fuzzy. Again, it's what I try to do. I'm not gonna, be so conceited as to say that we definitely accomplished that, but it was our goal.
Thank you, Agent, for the bits. Much appreciated. You bought too many bits. You gotta watch where you misclick. You know what? I'm going to save here, and then I'm going to hover around here. I'm not going to rest until I get to the other town. Well, I can't. There's no tents in this game. Want to hear something crazy? I'm at the final dungeon of Final Fantasy 13, and honestly, 8 is worse. Ooh, hot take, hot take.
I haven't played either, so sure.
I'm actually curious as to which one I'll finish first, 13 or 8. My mind says 8, but you know, I surprise myself sometimes.
Would you play it for anything other than a marathon though? If you ever do a marathon?
That's a good question, honestly, String. I think at this point it probably won't happen until the marathon. You're right.
I'm still waiting for your Stormblood review. It's been a year now. It's been a year.
I haven't even reviewed Heavensward because when I did that sponsored
you know
video.
Heavensward because you started it when you played.
No. When I did the sponsored video, I only got to fucking level 20, 25 in Realm Reborn. All the Heavensward footage came from Lewis. So I wasn't even at 3.0 by the time I made that video. But I want to go back and make a video for Heavensward and Stormblood and every expansion afterwards, as long as I'm playing that game, which we all know is going to be until the game dies.
But 8 is a fun card game with very bad narrative attached to it for some reason.
And you get the card game at 14, so...
Hey man, my luck has been pretty damn good with the MGP earnings and shit. I'll give it like 3 more years. Fenrir's mine.
The
I have not logged on
agrees with
14
my,
for the last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
I've been too busy playing Octopath.
Yeah, I've slowed down tremendously. I'm going to pick it back up as soon as the new patch drops in September. But right now, the only means I'm signing on for now is Heaven on High to max out the weapon and the Monster Hunter stuff that's happening next week.
I am probably going to pick it up when Spargos comes out next week. But same thing happened to me with Heavensward. I dropped it around 3.3 for a bit. Just this is around that time because I want the next patch.
I also want to play different games.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm Octopath. I'm still grinding for the final boss. So here she's a bitch.
It looks like Silas is in tank mode right now.
She can take anything.
Like a champ.
The modding game design myself is basically along the same lines. Modding should be to enhance the game, not change it. Well, no, because I think major mods to a game can also lead to a different form of entertainment. That's the entire reason why I like doing the Sonic Hacking Contest live streams, to see what developers can make out of the original coding, if anything at all. You know, sometimes you get your memes, you get your shit, but you also get some pretty damn interesting ideas. And if you don't go through both paths, then you won't find out what works and what doesn't.
And it really depends on what you're trying to do, Dungeon Master. It's a good point. You should innovate, obviously. That's kind of a given. But there's a difference between, again, taking a game and improving it, and taking a game concept, a game series like Sonic, for example, and trying to make like the next step in the series to move forward. And again, to me, there's the difference between modding a game and then creating something entirely new. And it's like the difference between making a new car and restoring a classic car. Oh, you found the Chocobo loving. I always forget I gave him that line.
In the original game, in World of Ruin, they had an extra line of dialogue that they only said once. Then afterwards, it was always just, do you want to ride a Chocobo for like this certain amount of GP? That's the only time you get that animation in the game, and I was always weirded out as to why they made that.
Yeah. It's I think it's because I broke that apart from because that line actually appears twice. It tells you how to ride a chocobo, but you can either get that line at the beginner school or from the first time you rent one. And I forget exactly how we pulled it, what we did, but the dialogue is also a mess. But yeah, that guy is definitely a chocobrony.
Yeah, he goes to ChocoboCon.
So yeah, chocobo. I know it's a lot of people say chocobo. You're
okay,
never
hold
going
on.
to
I'm gonna
find-
stop there. I have never heard anybody pronounce it as Chocobo. It's always Chocobo or Chocobo. I say Chocobo.
I've always heard chocobo.
Yeah.
Never heard chocobo before.
Could I say that a mod and a ROM hack should be classified as two different things? I would say no, because I mean a ROM hack is by definition a mod.
Yeah, you have to hack the ROM in order to make the mod.
Yeah, AM2R is definitely a fan game because it's built from the ground up. It's not something that you apply to the base ROM, and I think that's really the key difference there. Is it a standalone game, even if it's a remake, or is it something that requires the original to function? But yeah, I don't think you're ever going to find anyone who says like everything in Final Fantasy VI right. You're always going to find someone that says something a little different. Calling in Jadur, Kefka, Narsh, Thamasa, Rama, or Rama.
Yeah, because when I was young, I used to pronounce Sion. Cyan's name is Sion. Sabin is still Sabin. I still say Sabin. I know it's probably pronounced like Sabine or something like that, but I still say Sabin.
I'm sorry, did you say Sion?
I said Sion when I was young. Yeah, as in Sion.
Okay then.
The only way I can really think of is there's not Final Fantasy, but when I was really young, I used to call Pokemon packing them.
Pack.
Packing them.
Well, because you're packing them in balls, so maybe that's what. Maybe that's what you're thinking of. Hey, Retarget, thank you very much for the subscription.
So when I was younger, I couldn't read Gestal's name correctly, and I thought it said Gestal. So that was mine.
Okay.
No, I used to say Gestal as well. Yeah, you said that, yeah.
So that's why Brave New World actually makes fun of you. At one point, it asks you, what's the Emperor's name? And you can choose between Gestal and Geshtal. And if you select a Geshtal, it just bitches at you and says, you're probably one of those people that says Sabin and Celis wrong, too. So just so you know, anyone who sees that, I'm making fun of myself first and foremost right there.
All right. One of the main protagonists of Final Fantasy IX. How did you guys pronounce his name? Because when I originally started playing it, I always called him Zidane. And then started in high school and in college, I heard people saying Zidane or something like that. But I was like, no, I say Zidane. And then finally, I had validation thanks to Dissidia, because Dissidia says Zidane too. So fuck you guys, I was right.
If it ends with an E, it would be Zidane.
Yeah, but
how about the big one? 10. Titus or Titus?
I did say Titus originally, and then I
always say Titus.
I heard that from time to time, and then I played Kingdom Hearts, and they pronounced it as Titus, and I was like, what?
Kingdom Hearts 2 to be specific.
Oh, Ordep, we meet at last. See, did he just spray paint his clothes like dark blue and brown, and that's this disguise?
You'll never figure me out.
Yeah, I am such a genius. That's what I said.
So coming up right here is that in the original line there was a line that Sabin had after Edgar walks off, where he's like, he doesn't recognize me. What the hell? It existed in the original game's code, but it was dummied out, so we put it back in, and of course we changed it a little bit.
Yeah. Because again, recruiting Saban is optional. So,
Right.
and I always found it a little weird that if you did go out of your way to recruit Saban before the Edgar stuff, he has no reaction to anything until the end when you recruit him. It's like
Right.
he's like, you recognize your brother, suplex him. No, are you kidding me? He's royalty.
But I do like the little exchange I came up with here. I think it the Celis and him.
DC, I've not been playing. I've been playing Octopath Traveler, but I haven't been putting much time into it throughout the last week, so I'm still nowhere near done the game yet.
I'm loving it. I finished everyone's story. I'm just I'm grinding for the final boss now because by the end of the story I was level 50, and everyone's saying that you need to be 70 for the final boss.
That one's actually kind of funny, PK Master. So I always used to make fun of people who would say Ketchi instead of Kate Sith. I'm like, get that weeb crap out of here. And then I went and I looked it up, like the origin of the word. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's not weeb. That's not weeb at all.
That's not weeb at all.
No, it's not weeb at all. I first learned how to pronounce it thanks to the Final Fantasy VII Versus Book guide. Who they had these little character profiles. That's a phenomenal strategy guide. If you ever have it, that's a good read. They have Ketchi right there in the end, and they have a little pronunciation guide right next to it. And that's how I learned it was Ketchi, because before that I used to say Kate Sethu. You know, I see it, I want to pronounce it phonetically, and then I learned it was I think it's a Gaelic origin.
It is Gaelic,
yeah.
Correct. So a little friendly advice. You may want to make a concerted effort to kind of talk to everybody and make sure you talk to everybody. You may find a few things.
Okay. Talk to everybody. Okay, fuck my arms hurt. Interesting. Living on a razor's edge, balancing on.
You might be rewarded for it. Just.
Souvenir of the Empire, anyone? Yeah, we never used that Meditech arm for anything else.
I see you trying to go past that hidden tile.
Yeah, I know, man. Why did you get rid of it?
and you know what? That one change, that one tiny little change, turning that tile to impassable, is like 64 KB of the 300 KB file size of the Brave New World patch. That one damn change.
It's the Sega chant in the beginning of Sonic 1. It's like, yeah, no, Final Fantasy 6 has something like that too. Yeah, there's one tile inside this hidden pathway. Really?
Yeah. And we realized we can probably get that down by... What we did was we changed it to an immovable tile, and I think that messes with the maps. If we just put an NPC there instead, I think that would probably cut down on the... I need to bring that back up with Sync Easy.
Oh yeah, put an NPC there. You gotta have him say something, though.
Yeah. No, bad player.
Yeah. You're a 90s kid, aren't you? Oh, hello. For each life lost, a new one arrives to fill the void. Where's you going? Did I just...
We actually already have a no bad player line in there. If you try to leave Narsh at the very beginning of the game instead of heading in.
Did I just run into them having sex? What the fuck? Is that a fuck cancel? Did I just fuck cancel them?
That was a fuck cancel, dude.
That was a fuck cancel. I just fuck canceled them. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm an asshole.
So, raid message?
Yeah.
A backwards fuck cancel. No, that's an advanced technique right there.
Yeah, you did it after the quarter circle fuck cancel.
Man, this new Smash Brothers techniques are sounding amazing.
Perfect spot. Fuck cancel.
Oh, some people are mentioning in the chat. No, I have not had the chance to play Jammy's mode in Shantae Half Genie Hero. I want to at some point. I think it was a free update. I'm gonna have to check that out later. Ooh, nice.
Good for Friday if you wanted to. Unless you got
I have to see what I'm doing Friday besides the sub night.
Okay.
Speaking of, I'm probably gonna do. I don't know. I gotta look at the suggestion box and see what I have or what a lot of people other have. You know.
I gotta figure out what I'm streaming later, actually. Probably X.
Yeah, and I have mentioned that in our next update, we finally managed to get working a hack that lets you see everything equipment does before you buy it, right?
Do you think wave dancing will make a return in Smash Ultimate? No.
No, never again. Maybe an equivalent.
Do I not want to add that title back? Do you mean the, what, Final Fantasy VI title screen instead of Final Fantasy III? Is that what you're saying?
I'm good with either or, honestly. I have nostalgia with the original, but I do like the 6 logo too, especially the Terra Ride and the Magitech in the back.
I'll be honest, the reason I did it is when I made for Brave New World, I did it using the Final Fantasy III logo instead of 6, and I can't recreate it.
Oh.
So it's just, okay, it's Final Fantasy III now.
10 bits from Shadow. Johnny, thoughts on Galaga Smash Remix?
I like it. I'm hoping...
Oh, he said tile. I'm sorry. I'm dyslexic.
Ooh. Leo's Spirits. What is that? Is that a rare item? A bottle of Leo's favorite booze.
You ever played Chrono Trigger?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. So,
I'm sorry to hear that, bro. What was that?
You know exactly what you're holding then.
What was that comment from Vertonghen?
Johnny, you're making me feel better. I really need it since my dog died yesterday. I'm still heartbroken. Your stream keeps me smiling though, so thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Well, thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. Yeah, I'll give you some of this Leo Spirits right here. Let's put that in the. I'll give you something good old fashioned cup.
Oh, someone's dog died. Oh, that's awful. I love dogs.
That's gotta suck, dude. Sorry to hear that.
They're like people, only better.
Alright, why don't we say we blow this popsicle stand? Ooh, eye drops. Someone left their eye drops in the crates.
But I like popsicles.
I actually haven't had a popsicle in a very long time.
Yeah, me neither. I'm more an ice cream kind of guy, just normal ice cream.
Yeah, so am I. Frozen custard. Fuck. I fucking hate when my first tile outside of a town is a random encounter.
Lovely.
Ow! Why does Chew hurt so much? Yeah, it really did. Watch out, spider.
I haven't caught up with the stream delay yet, so give me a second.
Well, they don't like fire though, so that's good to know.
Yeah, I gotta pick up delivery today.
Who would have thought that bunnies don't like being set on fire?
Well, I know a lot of things that don't like being set on fire. How long are you going to spend on the music in the Smash Ultimate review? Good question. Depends on how lovely the remix. I'd probably be talking more about the new songs rather than the old stuff, because I'm expecting them to bring a lot of shit from all 4 previous games. But I'm hoping I'm hoping the remixes are... not to say the Smash 4's remixes were bad, I don't think there was enough of them.
I actually, after listening to the Ultimate remixes, I like them a hell of a lot more than Smash 4's. I think it's because I think it suits a fighting game more, the kind of style they've chosen.
Do I have a logo or icon? Do you mean for Brave New World, or just like a personal avatar?
The story of Siegfried.
The hidden tile was edited because it was a sequence break for lock scenario. You could bypass getting the soldier outfit.
And that's a no-no.
You speedrunners ruined it for the rest of us.
Yeah. Yep.
Ooh, okay, Humpties are immune to fire.
Cave stuff.
And I got 2 Hell Claws on Mr. Thou, so I gotta change that.
If you've ever played the original Final Fantasy, there are like a line of enemies named like Scum and like Goop and like Slime, and that's kind of what I was thinking of when I was naming these things. And I turned to Sinkizi, and I'm like, what does this stuff look like to you? And he just sort of shrugs, and he's like, cave stuff. And I just type it down, he's like, I was kidding. I'm like, I'm running with it. And that's how half the shit in this mod got its name.
Okay,
just a general logo or pick. Normally the logo, like my personal avatar, is the cover of Maiden's Power Slave album. But if you are looking for the actual cover for Brave New World, I can post that here. Give me a second. Or I can, you know, ask a mod nicely to post it.
what kind of fucking hug is this? Like, give me a hug. I'm a Kappa now. Yeah, can we get Kappas in the chat, actually? That's what I am. Actually, is there a Kappa? Is there, like, a Final Fantasy VI version of Kappa for Twitch emotes?
Nah, Low Judgment killed him.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. Much appreciated. Oh shit, one of those hookers' tits got loose. And now I'm an imp. Because I have seen some shit.
Alright, there we go. Oh, links are up, so I can post them myself. Good to know.
Ah, okay. Then, yeah, go ahead, do it then.
Hey, cool, it actually worked. And I've got this weird little icon next to my name. I guess that's the new subscriber icon everyone's talking about.
The coffee mug? Yeah, the coffee mug is the...
Where can I find this amazing new subscriber badge?
Oh shit, it is a coffee mug. Yeah, it is. Yeah, alright.
Why, all you have to do is subscribe to Some Call Me Johnny for $4.99 a month.
Thank you, Lucifer. I threw that together in like 10 minutes. And I can't recreate it anymore.
That was the name of a bad guy in some other RPG.
Actually, there was a series of logos that I was kind of trying to choose between, and I wasn't quite sure which one I wanted to go with, so... I can post, like, the full, where are they all? Actually, I don't know where it is. But yeah, there was a bunch of different designs I was trying to choose between, and I wasn't quite sure which one I wanted to go with. Nice.
Crosby, thanks for thoughts on X Legacy Collection. Everybody give your thoughts on the X6 review. I'm going to briefly mention Legacy Collection for the X5 and X6 video because I ended up going back to record the PS1 versions of X5 and X6 because I do like Legacy Collection. I'm going to talk about the good things about it along with the bad things about it, and the bad things about it are kind of the reason why I didn't stick with the full experience because I don't like what the I don't like the resolution options of Legacy Collection.
Can't you go back to how it was originally presented? Because that's what I did with the original Xbox.
See, for the PS1 games, that's fine, but also the PS1 versions, from my experience, also have I had music stuttering, and I've had lag, like really bad lag in areas that I didn't.
I've had lag.
In areas where I didn't get lag in the original game, like in X5, I know where there's lag. But I started getting lag in every other places, and I was like, no, this is not right. This is not optimal.
Love you.
So I'm going to mention that for X5 and X6, but I'm playing the PS1 versions of those games. Now for X7 and X8, I'll be sticking to Legacy Collection, just for the increased clarity and better load times.
Have you noticed any like input delay?
Input latency, I've heard that is a thing in Legacy Collection. Me personally, not really, but I know it is a thing.
Are you guys getting any feedback from me?
A bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I wasn't sure if it was us or someone in the background talking.
Alright, should be gone now.
Fuzzy says that the PS4 and Xbox One versions don't run so bad compared to the Switch and PC version. And I should stress that the things that we're talking about are not necessarily deal breakers. But you guys know me. I'm pretty fucking. Oh shit! I forgot. I still have the Ocean.
Like if it's between an SNES cartridge of X3 or Legacy Collection, I'm gonna tell you to get Legacy Collection.
Yes.
Yeah, what you guys are hearing, I've lived alone my entire. Had the need for phones, so.
I don't have a landline.
Yeah,
I haven't had a landline. I still have a landline in years.
Too. Yes.
I have a landline, but it's only because my parents pay for it.
PC version.
I have a landline because I've never owned a cell phone in my life.
Really? Holy fuck! Are you the mountain man?
I am very much stuck in the past.
I've grown to rely on smartphones now.
SS Blues thing. I forget. Can't read the name. My favorite armor in X is probably 4th armor.
So, one thing I'll point out is that anywhere in the game where Celis is a forced party member, I intentionally put at least one runic farm enemy. Someone who casts like a regular spell, like in this case, Bolt 2 coming from the cave stuff.
Yeah. With that cave stuff? Hey, that cave stuff can cast fucking lightning magic. So you refer to it as Mr. Cave Stuff.
Mr. Cave Stuff.
It's fine to love the ultimate armor, but it's also kind of cheating. You know what I mean? Like aesthetically, I love the armor's look, and I really wish it was just cosmetic. And I love Black Zero. Black Zero is cool.
You could probably Game Shark it just to get the look and not the actual abilities.
Possibly. Hey, Black Eye, thank you very much for the bits. Out of context, that sounds a little weird. Yeah, out of context, that sounds a little weird. Hey, how's it going? How's it going, Black Guy?
Ooh, I don't know if that was just me or not.
Oh, what? What did you hear?
My internet's kind of like either my internet died or your stream died for like less than a second.
Oh, okay. I don't think no, my stream's still live, so yeah, maybe it's not on your end for a bit.
Probably my end. Well, if I go offline, that's why.
Suckle that tit. Ooh. The Kappa avatar is just... Yeah, 10 elements, the Kappa avatar is just a single image. It's not unique for every party member. That'd be nice. Like if a Cyan's Kappa image had a beard or a goatee.
Yeah, it's a single sprite, and there's... It's not like Zombie, for example, where all Zombie does is it just changes your character's palette. Kappa's just its own unique sprite. King, if pretty much anything in the world of Rune looks like your guess is better than mine, and it's just... I have no idea what half of it is, to be honest with you.
Sonic,
I just assumed that Nomura is perpetually on some kind of mind-altering substance.
Sonic, if your favorite armor is normal armor, I'm sorry to say, dude, it's kind of impossible to finish X6 unless you get the jumper part.
No, that's the right thing, because then he doesn't have to play X6. So
Okay, okay. Checkmate.
When's he never will make
Have you ever thought about looking into modding any other Final Fantasy games?
I have not. Modding is very, like... To me, it's a reactive thing, not a proactive thing. I didn't, like, deliberately set out to mod Final Fantasy VI. It just kind of happened. Like, Sinkizi showed up to work one day, he's like, hey, I found a editor for Final Fantasy VI. I'm like, okay. And, I see him, he's kind of working on it a few days later, and I finally said, okay, dude, you go code. You're good at that. I'll take creative control here.
I thought you were about to say, like, it just kind of happened. I just, like, pressed my keyboard, and I had a modded version of Final Fantasy VI on my computer.
I just woke up one day, and suddenly I was modding Final Fantasy VI, yeah. I mean, I had a background in modding. I was a Morrowind modder before this, but... This is the first like ROM hacking project I've ever done. Morrowind modding is exercise in patience, let me tell you.
I've heard horror stories.
That game just needs to be like burned to the ground and rebuilt.
We just got past Skyrim. We don't need them re-releasing Morrowind again.
No.
I just thought Howard would like to.
Yeah, basically, Nikisi and I had talked about, you know, the idea of restricting certain characters to certain espers. That was really the main idea that the mod was built around. And I saw him a couple days later, and I saw him kind of trying to draw out which characters would get which spells. And I just like, dude... And I started doing it myself, and then he went to code, and we work very well together because we kind of understand what the other can do. When we respect our space, so...
Wow, that went south really fucking fast. Whew.
So, Centaur, since you asked. I started working on Morrowind again the last time I thought I was done with Brave New World for a while. And someone even helped me make a logo, and that's what it looks like. So, if I ever get back around to Morrowind, that is the mod that I be working on.
Alright, so now we're back in Figaro Castle, but it's kind of stuck underground. But everyone is kind of like running out of air.
Thanks, Elements. I'm kind of a huge Iron Maiden fan. I don't know if you can tell.
It was awful.
That's a new metal cover experiment. That is Iron Maiden's Book of Souls album, which came out a few years ago. If you are interested, Elements, I fully recommend starting with Brave New World. That is a very accessible album and one of their best.
Don't have much MP to keep doing that over and over again, but we'll see what we can do.
Have I touched the Doom series? No, I have not. But I was a little young when...
Have you modded Doom?
Yeah, well, depends on your Because Doom came out, what, 95, I want to say?
The first Doom? I don't know off the top of my head.
Google!
We're saying 1992, 1993, 93? 93. Barty, thank you for the follow.
I just remember being a little young when it came out, and mostly into console gaming at that time, so...
I wasn't even born then.
Because I was
modded to run an ultrasound, a calculator, and even a sports car.
I've seen the calculator version.
I don't think I've ever seen any other version besides console and PC.
I've seen Pokemon run on a calculator before.
Do tell. Doom can run on ATMs.
I have seen
run
that.
on ATM.
PAX Australia one time they had like a bunch of ATMs set up with a bunch of arcade games and PC games on them.
I want Doom on a fax machine. Every time the dial tone plays, it plays the background music.
Shadow, no I wouldn't, and the reason for that is someone on my my site, on my Discord, has made a Final Fantasy IV hack. And I've always said about Final Fantasy IV is that it's a much simpler game than 6, and it's exactly as complex as Squaresoft was prepared to handle. And I realized after watching someone play his Final Fantasy IV mod that you really couldn't do much with it. The engine itself doesn't give modders much to work with, because the mod basically plays like Final Fantasy IV backwards version. And unlike Final Fantasy VI, which was a huge mess, but it was a wonderful toolkit for modders to do things with. And Final Fantasy IV just doesn't have that.
Doom on Braille. Go wrong.
That said, Final Fantasy IV is my favorite Final Fantasy.
Oh, okay, cool. 4, 6, 7, 9...
14.
14, yeah. I love 10 as well. I'll staunchly defend 10.
Well, people talk about, like, Final Fantasy VI has, a great plot, and I'm like, 4 had all the moments that really hit me. Like when Rydia came back and saved your ass, or when like the whole world shows up to help you fight the giant. Those to me are like the really cool moments of Final Fantasy history. 6 didn't have them. Would I mod Skyrim on Alexa? That question makes no sense to me.
The Skyrim's available on the Amazon Alexa.
Remember,
I can't stand Final Fantasy VII for enough reasons for him to write a goddamn paper on it. Interesting.
You think
time
I'm
stopped
lying,
in
but I'm
1997, so... Yeah, 4 was also my first Final Fantasy, so there's, some nostalgia there.
Yeah, my first one wasn't until 10 because we didn't get any for a long ass time.
And anyway, you may have noticed that just before he came down here, there was a save point in the stairwell. We added a few save points to the game. We would have added a lot more, had NPC and event space allowed. But we're literally at the limit. We can't add anything more.
I appreciate the save point anyway, because if I fuck this up, I gotta do the whole Figaro sequence over again.
Yeah, so we were very careful about where we did add save points. What we wanted to do, what my initial idea was, I wanted to enable saving anywhere, like Saga style. You can save anywhere, but the problem is that a lot of dynamic maps, like the floating continent, for example, wouldn't save their state, so it was buggy. Stay Hydrated bot is gone? What happened to him? Did he,
Wait, what happened to Hydrate? Oh, no, because it has been over a certain threshold, and usually Hydrate bot likes to come out after an hour, but I'm going to drink to Hydrobot's death anyway.
Yeah, we got Mystic Quest, but I didn't play Mystic Quest. Cause it wasn't even, I don't think it was even called Final Fantasy Mystic Quest here, it's just called Mystic Quest.
Hydration bot is gone. We're all gonna die of dehydration. What do we do? Drink water? Ah, that's absurd.
He was the man we needed, but not the man we deserved.
Thank you.
I hope you have enough to share for everybody.
Oh, this asshole.
Depends on how much y'all eat. Well, she's used to cooking for an army, so.
Oh, nice.
And she doesn't understand that I don't require a whole lot of food, so.
So this fight was annoying in the original game, unless you had auto haste. But let's see how this thing changes up a bit here. So Alright. They do magic. Well, here comes
This
the first
is
grab.
one of the few fights that I think is a lot easier in Brave New World. Again, you can tell what I thought was really obnoxious in the original game, because that's what I ended up toning down.
Let's see which one has what. 'Cause this is okay. The one on top left is.
So
immune
I
to
mentioned
fire.
earlier
Interesting.
that I recoded how the tentacles target and grab characters into the failsafe to prevent them from grabbing the character who is already being held. And because I have them target specific characters, I also know who is going to be grabbed, so I can actually have them react. Yeah, you can suplex the tentacles, go for it.
Yeah. You can
In fact, I'd recommend it because suplex also sets slow, so yeah, do it.
Entwine. Okay, if that one absorbed fire.
So yeah, like that, Sabin reacting to it, that wouldn't have been possible in the original game because it would have had no idea who was being grabbed.
But now you can make specific lines for characters. That's
Right.
okay. Do not want to.
And no, they do not use molest. I'm sorry to disappoint.
Disappoint. Okay.
What's
I don't know, they seem pretty excited about it. I hate to let them down.
Now if that didn't stop you from getting partnership, I don't know what will.
Do I know how the heat haze effect is done?
good. Saw the original.
No clue.
Yeah.
Graphics are kind of a big question mark. The only graphics editing we do in Brave New World is palette swaps that didn't exist before. Yes, Mario, you can suplex anything in Brave New World. I was saying earlier, we took the flag that individual enemies had that would make them immune to suplex, and we repurposed it for something else. So suplex just works on everything here.
So we got to make sure Sabin survives for God Kefka.
Yep. Suplexing the cranes is fun. Suplexing IAF is hilarious because you're like slamming them down into air.
My favorite was to number 128 so far.
Yeah,
suplex him off of his arms.
Yeah.
Just put it back down.
Suplexing is great. And for those of you who weren't here last time, one thing we wanted to do, really bad, but couldn't, was we wanted to take the magic scene, and we wanted to copy it, just completely copy it, and have it to where Shadow and Cyan freak out when Sabin suplexes a train. And we got it in, and I wrote the dialogue and everything, and it was hilarious. But because the event bank is such a mess, when we tried to actually activate it in the game, it broke everything. So, the dialogue for it's actually in Brave New World, it's just dummied out.
Oof. Pedro does not have much health.
Looks like Sabin just got it.
Yeah. Can you suplex the action menus?
I said I made it less annoying, Mystery Man. Tone it down is maybe a bit of an overstatement. In Zidane, yes, that is exactly how I wrote. I tried to make it as close to the original scene as possible. So, like, the dialogue is as close to the original, just replacing magic with suplex. Like, that was a suplex. That was a suplex. S-U-P-L-E-X.
Oh, primo suplex.
And then shadows to Cyan, like, Cyan, Sabin can suplex trains and we can't. That's really the only difference between us. The fact is, we could really use his help. What's up, Mish? How you doing?
Okay, that's one. Alright, first I'm gonna get everybody back up to speed before I start.
Mishrak was actually the one who found out that scene broke the code.
Oh, really?
Started playing the game and like he gets into a fight and like everything goes like Matrixy.
Oh my god, everything's on fire.
So yeah, the whole battle structure is a little yeah,
weird.
kind of a mess. And so a lot of this code it was put together by people who clearly were not in communication with one another and not very aware of what the other people were doing. And you can really tell that if you just take the original game and you start pouring through the code, you can see where it was patched together.
Stuff like that also just makes me interested into like what was it like behind the scenes running the game and see exactly what the process was. Because sometimes, you know, it's most of the time I think I can contribute to scheduling conflicts. Maybe they're pressured by Square to make sure get this game out in time, or some other thing like that. It was in an age where patches were impossible. Okay, I like that line. I probably deserve this.
Oh, that's actually one of the hardest ones to get, too.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait. What? If I may make a modder's note, person grabbed by tentacle should go up with tentacle when I'm suplexing them. It's like I suplexed the tentacle and Edgar's like, hey, thanks. You dick, why'd you put him back down?
You know. Thank you. I love you.
I love you too.
Not you guys. Okay, I love
fuck
you.
You. Straight kick him out of the Discord. Piece of shit.
Already on it, the bastard.
Yeah.
What? Yes.
Good for us, that's it.
Thank you.
Target. Oh, damn. That's fine.
But yes,
never mind. He's dead.
So the character sprite doesn't actually become part of the tentacle sprite, so...
Yeah, I figured
Again,
as
it
much.
makes sense that the character doesn't go up with it, but...
Ooh. Krosner, after Persona's finally finished for SGB, now that Matt's finally giving me the brawls, I don't know, I was thinking of... Actually, I was thinking of Chrono Trigger for weekends.
You would do all endings because it's a pretty short RPG.
Yeah, I would probably showcase the multiple endings.
Actually, that is a good question. Why is Edgar named Pedro?
Because... I didn't want to name him Pedo. Because I got to give him something a little more dignified, so we added an R.
Okay.
Now it's Pedro.
I don't think Chrono Trigger is multiplayer. I know Final Fantasy VI is, and I've seen multiplayer Brave New World streams, which are hilarious.
Oh, okay. Well, we've saved the castle.
I'll again say, you may want to talk to everyone. You might, benefit from it.
I got no fucking idea with levels of this guy. Okay. Well, why don't we give him the dragon helmet that we got earlier?
The way it works, elements, is that in Final Fantasy VI's configuration menu, you can assign control of specific characters in battle to different controllers. And in fact, there's a guy that we have who is clinically insane, who has done a blindfolded run of Brave New World. And what he had to do to make sure, he knew who he was controlling was he would assign different characters to different controllers because it would make a different noise whenever they came up. Philia is pretty obvious, yes.
The jumping doesn't... does it ignore row?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, what were you saying? I was having this delicious meal.
The audience agrees.
Yeah. I gotta say, though, having you on the stream has been very insightful, though, for not just original Final Fantasy VI, but for Brave New World, too, so I'm happy to have you aboard, Billy.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely glad to be here. It's definitely an honor, and by far the largest audience I've ever spoken in front of, so... I am very glad to be here, and again, streams like this are extremely helpful when it comes to the development process, so thank you.
Bits for the Demon Chocobo.
Oh
shit, I thought everybody else ran.
Ow, hang on a second, ow.
You okay? Having a heart attack? You should probably call. Call the ambulance.
Yeah, it's funny that, the girlfriend's not used to people calling me Billy.
Did you just have a Charlie horse or some other shit?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Ooh, I fucking hate that.
I fucking hate cramps. I get them all the time.
I every time I get them like a Charlie horse or some other shit, I swear to God, okay, this is it. It's gonna burst this time. But no, nothing ever happens, but I fucking hate it regardless.
Why did God create muscles?
Yeah. Such a... Ooh.
I thought you got one then too.
Yeah, no, I just realized I was poisoned. Yeah, it did sound like I gotta crap myself.
It's contagious!
He's got the cramp.
That's awful molectry, and you should feel awful.
Well, what did he say?
He said, would you say they're extremely helpful?
If you think you can't get leg cramps from sitting down, I wish I had your life.
Fuck, I get leg cramps laying down. Especially in the morning stretch when I wake up. I don't want to stretch too hard.
I've had mouse cramps when eating. Ow!
I think you'll need to see like a chiropractor or something. That's not right.
You're wrong.
That costs money and time. I'm lazy. Probably the third one.
Charlie horses suck. Can we get an in chat? Yeah, well, I can give you one too. There you go.
Wake up with morning wood every morning, don't you?
Yeah.
That's why they call it morning wood, yeah?
The true warriors, the ones that wake up with both.
You're talking about morning wood again, honey? Yeah, the chocobo window is not in this mod. So we can't have demon chocobo.
Yeah, you'll notice that there's a new window style in Brave New World that's the default, and we actually replaced Demon Chocobo with it. So,
West mod 0 out of 10.
Now that we're here, we actually can just trigger the backstory of Edgar and Sabin.
Yeah. So there's a bug. I can't explain. I don't know what causes it, how it happens. Oh no! But sometimes, at the very bottom there, when you get the scene with Edgar and Sabin and Celis after the tentacles, Sabin gets locked into his standing position, and it doesn't break until you get the Falcon. And so you can trigger this scene and he'll be locked, and instead of walking, he'll just moonwalk everywhere. and this isn't Brave New World specific, it happens in vanilla too.
Okay. It's funny, when you said Sabin can get locked, I thought you meant like the character lock, and you're just using his name as a verb.
Yeah, no,
like
I mean,
his character becomes locked.
He doesn't walk, he just sort of slides everywhere. I guess, yeah, it's a better way of saying it, he slides.
Mr. Thou, that's your name.
Your dad's died, oh, Mr. Fell.
And to this day, I have no idea what causes it. I had a theory, but I was wrong, so...
This song is called Coin Song, by the way, and I fucking love it. So somber. So let's talk about Satan moonwalking.
Yeah, I will be right back, gentlemen. I have to hit that.
He's a little boy's room.
Yes. That's a big
Their father died of terminal plotosis.
Huge boys room.
I wonder if he realized he never muted his mic. Could hear all that juicy gossip. I know.
Well, it's that they're planning a murder.
It's like, I'm not going to mute the server. I want to hear it all.
It's alright, if anything big comes up.
So we
I'll
will drop the
actually mute
nuke and these coordinates specifically.
He comes back. So, you know us, we're gonna fall out, right?
Yeah.
Well, 36. And that's how I became king.
Yeah, great.
Here's something that I've heard a lot of. Nope.
Guess not. What were you saying, sir?
Here's something I heard a lot. FF6 remade Octopath with the Octopath engine.
I wouldn't mind that, but I don't really need that in my life.
I prefer a full 3D remake, but I'll take it.
No, I want a PSP remake. And no, I'm never letting that go, goddammit. Because 5 and 6 never got the PSP treatment.
No, you just got the PSC treatment.
Yeah, it's got the Steam treatment, iOS treatment. Fucking, it's great.
Wow, you're so sincere.
This piece of shit.
No, I mean, a lot of current game developers kind of... a big, well-known one is the guy who made Undertale. That started out as an Earthbound mod, so...
Yeah. I can see you're an SNL fan. The bouncy ball. Do not taunt Happy Fun Ball.
Love SNL.
I love you. That was like one of my favorite skits back as a kid. Do not taunt Super Happy Fun Ball.
I'm gonna have to go watch that now.
Yeah.
I never watched SNL.
Did you ever see the Super Happy Fun Ball skit?
I didn't even know if it was aired here.
Yeah,
It
look it up, dude.
was,
It's so simple, but it's fucking hilarious.
I got it on YouTube. I'll watch it after the stream's over.
Yeah.
It's the only SNL skit other than all the Celebrity Jeopardy sketches I recommend watching.
I watched all the Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton ones because, of course, I did. But that's really it.
The defibrillators, 30,000 GP. It could be wild before I get that one.
Ed, you're king, right? Can you buy this for us?
Oh, okay.
We cannot go fight Kefka already, even if you do get that, sir. There is one required thing that you have to do in Brave New World that wasn't required in the original game.
Ah, interesting. Can't wait to figure out what that is when we get there. We're going to call it a session here, though, folks, because now that we've recruited Edgar and we are now in the other continent to the west, we can now begin our journey to recruit Setzer, but that is going to be its session by itself because Daryl's tomb, I don't know what the hell Setzer was thinking.
If you want, you can go ahead and just grab Setzer real quick.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, because grabbing Setzer doesn't take too long, but the tomb itself...
The only reason I'm saying it is because it's one of the scenes that we completely rewrote, and it's actually my favorite scene in the mod.
Okay, guys, everyone shit on it.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Go for it.
You know, Setzer, normally we just bury people 6 feet under, give them nice little tombstones and flowers, maybe a picture of an airship because you guys are really close. But
look, I know the airship is a nice Mariel and all that, you know,
Yeah.
but really just sell it. You're a gambler. You need the money.
Yeah, Brave New World originally had what was basically a direct translation to the original Japanese version of Setzer's scene when you re-recruit him. And then someone was kind of inspired me to go back and rewrite it, and I figured he's kind of a tragic, depressed character, so I kind of tried to make it a little better, I guess. I don't know.
El Chupacabra. Anyway, where's the inn here? Let's go recruit our Gamblorg here.
Well, most everything in Brave New World's been rewritten. This just happens to be the favorite one that I had rewrote.
I guess surviving an airship crash wasn't as hard as I thought it was.
Yeah.
I don't think that's as badass as you'd think a little thing like the end of the world would put me down. It's one of my favorite lines from Sabin. Is that coffee? Hey, mugs out
Oh god,
for
this is a
Setzer.
Setzer version.
Mugs out for Setzer. Oh yeah, what is he drinking in original translation?
In the original translation, she's like, you're drunk.
Is that battery acid? Coffee dealer, call the cops. You've been
I actually forget how this
you were
turned out
deep
in
in
the
that
version.
illegal bean trade. That's different. Yeah, I can see what you edited there. Her attempting to walk out.
In the original version, he calls her a real shrewd bitch.
Yeah. Hey, get fucked, Rocksock. I'll have you know that I can take an ultimate to the face and live. But God forbid I swing this sword the wrong way, I'll get a heart attack. Whatever you think is right, you're wrong. And that is a big mistake.
Yeah, he's drunk on coffee here.
Yeah. Hey, I can relate.
Handing you off, John.
Bringing too much of that Irish coffee.
Anyway, thank you for indulging me. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Alright, we're going to call it a wrap here. We're going to explore the town and then some at the beginning of next session. And then when we come back next Wednesday, 7 p.m. EDT, as always, we are going to head to Daryl's tomb and get another one. Airship, that is. And I want to thank you for tuning in, as always, guys. I want to thank String for tuning in and being my lovely co-host as well as Billy. Thank you, Billy, for coming back and indulging us in your knowledge of modding and Final Fantasy in general. Thank you very much.
Next week, I will be, for the later half of the stream, I'll be around in chat, but I will not be around for voice because I will get shipped.
Sure, okay, no problem. Oh, yeah, under no obligation you're required to join us for any of these. I appreciate your company regardless. So, that said, we are going to end things here. Thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic night, and take care. Alright, so that's the end of the YouTube introduction. We need to, who are we rating? Let's get the list out here.
Oh, is this nice new streamer coming up called Stream Stoner? No, Mr. Happy streaming. He's streaming on Underworld. He's done the Behemoth
I think
stuff.
I rated Antude last week.
Looks like someone else is playing Brave New World, so I'm gonna hop on over there.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, wait, who is playing Brave New World at the moment? We could probably
Mr_Axel. I've never seen this guy before, so I have no clue.
Okay, we should probably rate them. Give them the Brave New World love. What was our raid hashtag though? I forgot.
What was it? Fuck something? I forgot.
No. Elliot and Sabrina rated me with fuck cancel. But
right, here we go. It's a premiere of a video. It's not actually a live stream.
Oh, it's a premiere of a video. It's not a live stream. Okay, never mind that. Let me see here. Hey, John Max, thank you for the follow.
Oh, that's a that's not actually being.
Yeah, it's a premiere video.
Oh, my mistake.
Pat just left. I think just started live streaming.
Well, some people were saying Josh Jepson. Is that just the name of the channel as well? We can do that.
Let me check.
All right. Well, I'm going to go eat dinner.
Yeah.
Thank you again all for having me.
Enjoy the rest of your day, dude. Thank you again for tuning in.
There you go.
Not a problem, man.
In the
Take care.
Discord. So yeah, Billy.
All right. Do we have hashtag? What we need to do?
What's Banana Man lives? Suplex everything.
Suplex everything. No, I know we had something earlier. I don't remember what it was though.
Come on, chat. This is why we rely on you.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Abusemighnipples.biz. I don't want to think they're getting infested with a virus. We did sniff paper a few weeks ago, so was that Shade? I think it was Shade that did that.
Anything catching your eye? Quarter circle, fuck cancel.
Yeah. I do like I deserved this. Yeah, let's do I deserved this.
Alright.
That was actually a really fucking funny line. Hey, right guy, I appreciate the host as I'm about to end the live stream. But it's the thought that counts. Thank you very much. All right, guys.
It's the ending that matters.
I'll give Josh my love. I'll see you guys next Monday for Resident Evil 2. New series on Monday. Hope you guys look forward to it. Yay, Resident Evil. Fucking
bye.
Yay. Good night. Have a good night.